So as promised, this is a reveal video for how I got the little computer chip there to supposedly magnetically levitate within the field that's created. And unfortunately, if you haven't already worked it out, yes, it is fake. The way I was able to achieve it is by using the arch here as a support point for a very, very fine piece of single monofilament thread. The type of stuff I'm using is this sort of thing, which is like a nylon sort of thread. This is not the one I originally used for the setup. I'm only showing you this one because, believe it or not, it's actually a little bit coarser. And if the camera's got any chance of picking it up, the thread I recommend you use if you really want something that's a really invisible thread is a stretch overlocking thread, which is the sort of thread they use in sewing machines to stitch together things like lycra. And the trick to this is that you don't use the entire bundle, you just tease out one of those individual threads and use that as a piece for it to hang from. I don't know whether you can see that there. I think the camera's just picking it up, where I've just teased out a piece of an individual thread to give you an idea. So I doubt that it'd be strong enough to hold up a model car, but you'll have to excuse the crudity of this model. It's not to scale and I didn't have time to paint it. The idea here is if you can't hide what you're doing as far as a levitation sort of device is concerned, is make it part of the scenery, make it part of something you're trying to incorporate to make it look deliberate, and that can give you quite an effective sort of look as well. One of the other questions I've had is about the smoke effect that I've used in a couple of my videos, just the background effect and stuff. See, I can get a very good sort of lingering sort of smoke. What I've got here is probably the cheapest smoke machine you could ever make. That's pretty simple. Went down to my local cheapo shop and this one cost about $9.95. The only thing you've got to make sure is that it actually has a steam setting for it, but what really makes it work is a homemade fog juice that I've made. I bought a small container of glycerin to this 2-litre container of water and just tipped out the equivalent amount of water off the top of it, added the glycerin to it, give it a good shake as a mix-up, and that's what produces the smoke. Turn it up to its highest steam setting on the dial, and once it's up to temperature, just inject it and it produces the smoke. So there you go, probably the cheapest smoke machine you could ever get. Produces huge amounts of smoke when you want it, and where you want it you can place it into a scene really effectively. Very cheap, very easy, very quick.